Hello and welcome, my name is Daniel Kranting. This is my YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. Let's go. Another week and another game without a win for Chelsea. It just keeps getting worse. It really just keeps getting worse. Last week they lost against Southampton without scoring. This time is their London rivals Tottenham Hotspur. Another defeat, 2-0 without scoring a goal. Look, I'm happy. I'm happy because, and I'm talking from the fanatical point of view first. I'm happy because you see, there's a certain level of underachievement and in pidgin terms, shashaness, that when you reach, it induces humility. You understand? Like your team has shined to the point that right now you are humble. When you enter a room and pull out talk, you don't make noise. You are just quiet. You don't do too known. No. Your team shows you your smoothness level. That's where Chelsea fans have reached. Now they are not as noisy. They are noisy in frustration. They are not noisy when they are in terms of banter. They don't reach that side. And it's good to have a certain section of fans quiet for a while. It's good. It's good. Every season it is somebody. This season it is Chelsea. In fact, Chelsea and Liverpool fans. So this season we are seeing it. We are hearing a lot of Arsenal and Man United fans make the noise. It's nice. Let's maintain it like that. That's Wenger and Ferguson. That's the Premier League. The rest of them they should go and pack somewhere. But let's talk about Chelsea. Look, it's sad. It's sad for me because in the modern Premier League era, we've seen the success that this team has tasted under Roman Abramovich, and I understand that new ownership has come. I perfectly understand. I understand that the way the club was run is not going to be the same. But I also believe that the principles of the club, that is winning, and that winning mentality, wanting to win every season, at least something, that should not be compromised. Because Roman Abramovich put Chelsea at par with their biggest rivals. If you look at the trophies that Chelsea won during the Roman Empire, interesting. Roman Abramovich's reign in charge of the club, I think Chelsea have won more trophies than any other English team during that period, and they've won everything. That is a mark of a successful team. They've put themselves at the top. So I don't see the reason in a new regime coming in just to destroy it. No. And you see, I understand where you say you want to do things your way, but in doing things your way, you should not compromise the principles of the team. We've seen Manchester United and before Ferguson, in fact after Ferguson, look, it's been poor, but there's a certain level of pressure that has been on every single manager. Van Gaal came in, he won an FA Cup. After 2 seasons he was gone because he wasn't giving the club the results they wanted. Mourinho came in, a whole Jose Mourinho, first season gives 2 trophies, second season finishes second, third season he's stumbling, he's gone. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes in and they measure him by progress because of the pedigree he didn't bring in. He makes a couple of finals, a couple of semi-finals. Even as close as he is to the club, it's not working, so they let him go. Even that one, they kept a bit too long. But you see, you need to maintain your principles. In judging new regimes, in judging new managers who come in, there's a standard that has been set, and you cannot compromise that. As for that one, I don't think Chelsea fans, and no matter the side of the spectrum, if you are on the side of sack Potter like me, or you're on the side of give him time, if you are giving him time, it needs to be based on something. And I always say this thing, look, tactics, coaching is not just about tactics. In fact, management is not just about tactics, that is coaching. There's a reason why the name in the Premier League is manager and not just a coach, because you are responsible for so many other things. Look, individual player management, everything is under you. So you need that certain level of experience at the top level in managing it and in an expectancy to win week in, week out. That thing, you can't compromise on it. Look, you can't come from Brighton with a culture where if you go 5 games without a win, but you've drawn 3 times and lost 2, it is okay for them. The mindset is different at Chelsea. In Chelsea, if you win 4 in a row and you lose 1, there's a problem. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal were having a brilliant season. All of a sudden, they lose against Everton, and the whole dynamic is changing. They draw against Brentford, and the whole dynamic is changing. And all of a sudden, it's like Arsenal are in crisis. Do you get me? I'm talking about the narrative, and that is the mentality that feeds into the dressing room, because They are used to winning all the time. They know they are supposed to win all the time. When 2 matches come and they don't win, there's a problem. You've won how many? 15 games with just 2 wins. How? And we should continue giving you time. And this is an experience that you've not had in your career before. You've never managed at the top level before. So there's no scientific evidence that backs the fact that you will come good. There's no evidence like that. Because at Brighton, you were not battling for any of the top positions. At Brighton, your job was to keep them up. If you do mid-table, fine. If you do, let's say, top half, that is fine. That is excellent. But at Chelsea is different. And you see, it is you can't measure the two. It is not the same. It can never be the same. It is always very important for big teams to hire managers who have a certain taste of winning. They understand what it means to win. They understand the pressure of the need to win. So that when you come in and things are not going, I can tell you that, look, this thing I've been there before. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the Premier League. You see, because the principles are the same. Big team mentality, it runs across. If you are in Juve, if you are the manager of Juventus, you enter every Serie A season expecting to win the title. If you don't win, there's pressure on you. When you come to Chelsea, it's the same principles that guide it. So it's not necessarily you need to manage in the Premier League or something like that. Even Porto, FC Porto, the fans of FC Porto expect to win every game in the league. That it is a principle. So if you don't understand that, if that thing is not part of your thinking and it's not part of your well-being as a manager, you've not experienced it before. This is what will happen. That small crisis comes in and it is a game and a game and a game and a game and a game, and we are still waiting for a win, and they are not creating. They look so flat. The team looks so dejected. It's sad. It's really sad, because when you look at the caliber of players that they have in this team, Chelsea should not be suffering like this. They should not. And look, trust me, if this Chelsea team was not expected to win every game, I can bet you that they would have been performing way better than this, because the pressure on the manager, his ability to sit down and relax and think through what he is doing would have been much better. But this is pressure. This is a manager's inability to manage a pressure situation, and that is what comes with experience. So for me, Charlie, it's sad. The fact is, and I always say this thing, the fact that I'm saying sack him now doesn't mean he will not come good. He will eventually. If he stays in this job for a couple of years, he will come good. But when you are waiting for him to come good, your rivals are also doing something. And when you come good, you are still going to have to compete with your rivals who are still at a certain level. So there's no real guarantee that he will bring success. And when I say success, I'm talking about tangible success. Roman Abramovich era sort of success. Trophy every season sort of success. There's no guarantee, because he's not done it before. Let's talk about Arsenal now. In fact, let's just wrap through the Arsenal and the Manchester City game. Leicester City against Arsenal. It was supposed to be a very difficult game on paper. Leicester had shown some good form prior to this game. They had scored 4 goals in 2 of their last 3 games, and then they faced Manchester United, played very well in the opening embers of the game, 20-25 minutes, and then just fell off. But one would have expected that, of course, at home they would have been able to translate that performance into something good. The absence of Maddison, for me, it just highlighted for me that Arsenal would be favourites in the game, and also the naivety that Leicester showed against Manchester United. I just had that inkling that Arsenal were just a bit too experienced to get past them. And also, look, if you look at how Arsenal won that game against Aston Villa, I said it in my last video on the Arsenal-Aston Villa game, you should be afraid. When you see a team winning games out of nothing, especially teams that are on top or are gunning for the title, when you see them winning games out of nothing, when this phrase becomes apparent, they just won, they didn't do anything and they won the game, we don't know what they did, they were lucky, things like that. Be afraid, because luck is a mark of a championship team, and that luck is just it's just a mark. It runs through, go through all the top teams in the world. There were times Real Madrid last season, everybody after every round of Champions League, oh, they were lucky. When they beat Chelsea, oh, they were lucky. When they beat Man City, oh, they were lucky. They won the trophy. They have a trophy. So what are you going to do about it? Exactly, that's my point. So Arsenal are showing that ability to win games out of nothing. I'm sure, of course, this is the Premier League. Tough times will come. And the Premier League, winning it right now is down to perfection. Okay, whoever has the less perfect season will win. Because look, even if Arsenal wins, let's say 70% of the games in the second half of the season, they will still reach at least above 85 points, and that is huge. My point is, these days in the Premier League, you need Even 90 points is not safe. 95 and above. And that is how perfect you have to be. We've seen Liverpool do it. They finished with 90 plus points twice and still didn't win the Premier League to Manchester City. That's how difficult winning the league is. So it's just one of those things. And I feel like for Arsenal, they should just take it a game at a time. Now they are just in two competitions, the Europa League and then the Premier League. For me, if I was Arsenal, I'll focus my attentions on the Premier League, because the Europa League only guarantees you, yes, a trophy and then Champions League position. But you are top of the table with a game in hand. They play on Wednesday against Everton at home. If you win that game, you stretch the gap at the top to 5 points. Let's focus on the Premier League. Put all your eggs in one basket for now. If you look at the Europa League draw, for me, Sporting Lisbon is not a game Arsenal should not be able to handle. If you're able to maintain this 5 points gap or even extend it close to the ending of March, beginning of April, then you can also start focusing on the two, or you can start putting a little bit more attention on the Europa League. That is if you are still in it. And I'm talking about in terms of the caliber of the draw that you get in the Europa League. As it stands, they are going to face Sporting Lisbon. I don't think they need to use their first team to be able to beat Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal has enough quality to go past them. So when you go past that is now the quarterfinals. Now if you reach the quarterfinal stage, again, depending on the draw, if you get a manageable game, you can concentrate on the Premier League, use your other guys for it. And because of the elimination of the away goals rule, both legs are winnable. As in, it's become free for the stats show. There are more goals in the knockouts round now that away goals has been taken out than previously. So what I'm saying is basically is that Arsenal, for me, if I was Arteta, I'll focus on the Premier League now, because that is the bigger fish to fry. That is, look, there's a chance to win it. You can see the trophy. So you can't give it if and then focus on the two. You are a bit too far off the Europa League as it stands. So for me, if I was Arsenal, I'll focus on the league, and it's very, very possible. Let's talk about Manchester City, the team that is battling Arsenal. And it's always very difficult when you are chasing, because when you are chasing, and especially when it's a fixture that looks like your rival can drop points, that is Leicester away for Arsenal, and then they go out and they grind out the results and win. Now the pressure is back on you, have to go and win. And for Man City, you might have looked at the fixture Bournemouth versus Man City and thought it was easy, but they will be kicking themselves, because last week they faced Nottingham Forest, a game they were supposed to blow them, and they ended up dropping points. So for Man City, they still had to do the professional job, and I love how they did it. They were 3-0 up by halftime, dropped down by halftime, and then they focus on to the next one. I'm sure now they'll be hoping that everything will do them a favor, but this is not the time for favors. This is the time for doing your job. When you are chasing, just win and hope. Win and then hope that your opposition drops points. But if you are also dropping points like what Man City did against Nottingham Forest last week, it's always going to be difficult for you. Let me hear your thoughts from Chelsea fans, from Arsenal fans, Manchester City fans. Let me just hear your thoughts on this weekend's fixture. And if you have anything that you want to share in the comment section, I'll be more than delighted to pick your thoughts on that also.